Good morning, everyone. So I just want to be sure that you can see my full mat there. Yep, you sure can. All right, so we have a few minutes before we start, and if you get a chance here, you may want to grab, I'm a little embarrassed that we have this much peanut butter at our house, and it is not the natural kind, my friends. Yep, that's for real. But you may want to grab a couple of things that you could use as blocks. You also may want to grab a towel or something, a dog leash, something that you could potentially use for in place of a strap. So if you want to go and grab those things, and I'll actually remind everyone to do it again very shortly, but I just wanted to, since you guys are early, give you a couple of minutes to go do that. And we'll start in about 3 minutes. I hope everyone is well. All right, good morning, friends. Hey, Catherine. So I was just on a few minutes ago, and I wanted to, in case you are just joining in, if you want to take a couple of minutes and go grab something that you could use in place of blocks. And yes, it's apparent that my family is hoarding peanut butter. Anyway, so there might be something that you could use to give yourself a little extra support and length as we move through practice today. The other thing that you may want to go grab is a towel or a dog leash or something that you could use as a strap today. So you want to take a second to go get that stuff. You're obviously welcome to join in as soon as you get that if you'd like to. So we are going to start here in a comfortable seat, and just for a second, because I did want to talk about a couple of things today. First of all, if you are not a regular yogi and practice often, just remember that this is a practice, regardless if you've been doing it for a long period of time or if you've just started. It is a practice, so it is not about perfection. It is about safety as well. So that's a lot where I focus in class, is on safety perspectives. The other thing, just to remind you that there are always ways to modify. So we are doing a flow today. It's called Dancing Warrior, and there are many times when we will move from down dog to a standing position, and I'll have you step forward. And sometimes that's just not easy for people, especially if you're not strong in the hips, or if you don't have good hip flexion. And so one thing that you may want to, first of all, when you step forward, if you don't quite get there, then just give yourself that little assist to step forward. Or maybe you decide instead to step back, just to stand up and step back. So of course that is always an option as well. So modify as you need to. It's very important. And then the last thing that I want to share is support your local businesses. So I actually teach at a studio here in Wake Forest, Unwind on White, and they are doing some virtual classes. So they have a lot of different options, gentle flow, yin classes. So please check them out and join in those virtual classes. And then also Durham, Highwire Brewing in Durham is having an event today, a pallet sale on beer. So again, support, and they're actually doing it in conjunction with Trophy Brewing and Brewery Havana. So support your local businesses. All right, now it is time to get started. So my name is Kirsten, and we will practice together for about 45 minutes. And this practice today is all about dancing. It's Dancing Warrior, and I think that this is a great opportunity for us to kind of just get our mind off things and dance. So with that all said, lay on your back. I'm going to stay seated, but if you will lay all the way back on your back, and we will get started. So laying on your back, the first few minutes of a yoga class are always an opportunity just to tune in. And it's just so important to take that time for that mind-body connection before we actually get started. So on your back, and actually I think I will show you. So laying back and just finding a comfortable position. And that might be with just, maybe it's the soles of the feet up on the mat, because maybe your back is feeling a little tighter today. It might be that you're ready to open up through the hips a little bit more, the soles of the feet together, the knees out to the side. But I do like to start in this position on the back, generally, because it is just so easy for people. It's easier than seated in some instances. So again, finding that comfortable position for you, and just allowing here your body to relax. Notice what you're trying to hold up here. Your shoulders, try and relax them to the mat, your hips, your legs, and then the muscles of the face. So in particular, that space between your eyebrows, the jaw. Release the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Soften the eyes. And then tuning into your breath. Breathing those full, easy, natural breaths. Don't force anything here. In yoga, we breathe in and out through the nose. But just finding your own natural breath. Nothing forced. We'll stay here just a couple more breaths. And now on your next inhale, stretch nice and long. Reach your fingertips in one direction, your toes in the other direction. Make yourself as long as you can here. And then bring your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Maybe draw your nose up to your knees, making yourself as small as you can. Again, a nice long stretch here. So reaching your fingertips long, one direction, your toes in the other, maybe even an arch in the back. So think here of a cow pose on your back with that arch. And then rounding out through the spine as you bring your knees into your chest. Again, maybe drawing the nose up to the knees. Perfect. And then releasing your head back down to your mat. And maybe here, rocking a little side to side, maybe drawing circles on the ceiling with your knees, just massaging a little through the back. And now here you can choose to rock and roll yourself up to seated, or you could roll onto one side and press yourself up to seated. And we're actually going to flip right on over, come on to all fours, so onto your hands and knees. With your hands directly underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips, let's move through a couple of rounds of cat and cow together. So on your inhale, arching through the back, chin up, tailbone up, take a full breath in here. And as you exhale, round out through the back, tuck the chin in and tailbone under. Again, inhaling, finding your cow pose, full breath. And exhaling to find cat. And now continuing for a couple more rounds, a few more rounds at your own breath rate. And so it might be that you add in a little bit more shoulder to this, a little more for the hips, if that feels good, a little more for the neck. What feels like it needs a little extra attention today? So we are working, and I take warm-ups very seriously and slowly. So we are taking some time to warm up the body. Now, from your next cat pose, that rounding of the spine, press the bottom back to the heels. The arms can stay extended nice and long. Your knees can be directly underneath you, or you can widen your knees out. So a couple of things here. If you keep the knees underneath, that's more, you may feel a little more release through the back. You want a little more for the hips, widen the knees out, keeping the big toes together. Your hands can be palms down in front of you. You can rotate your palms to face up for an external rotation of the shoulders. That might feel good. And if your forehead reaches the floor, maybe you massage through the forehead, just rolling from side to side. Perfect. And then let's return to all fours. And from all fours this time, walk your hands forward. And so you're in a modified plank. From here, we're going to lower down. So keep those elbows locked into the side of the body. Lower all the way down to your mat. And then let's slide the forearms forward, keeping the elbows underneath the shoulders. We'll press up through the forearms and even draw the forearms back. So you're opening up through the chest here. You should feel a nice stretch even through the abdominals. Good, easy back bend. And then let's lower down and slide your hands back underneath your shoulders. From here, we're going to inhale and peel the front of the body up. And now this time, float your hands, engaging that back body. Ground your legs to the floor. The legs aren't involved yet. And then exhale to lower down. Good. Again, inhale, peel the front of the body up, floating your hands. And exhale to lower down. Good. Now this time, inhale to peel the front of the body up. Add the hands here, but keep those elbows locked in. Draw the shoulders down your back. Opening up, cobra. Good, and then exhale to lower down. Beautiful, you guys. And then from here, we're going to either press up to a modified plank pose. If you're ready for plank, you can go for it. So pressing up to your plank or modified plank, curl your toes under and let's send the hips back for down dog. All right, in your down dog, let's actually do a quick shift here. Shifting into plank pose, your hands should be directly underneath your shoulders here. And then as you shift back, going right to down dog, hands and feet should not have to move. Once you find that position, everything should be in place. All right, so in your down dog, your feet are about hip bone width apart, your hands are shoulder width apart. Feel free here to walk the dog, gently pressing one heel toward the floor at a time. And then pressing both heels toward the floor, press your chest toward your thighs, pressing the back of the legs toward the wall behind you. Good. And then let's walk our hands and feet together. Now, hands and feet together, as you bring your hands and feet together, as I said multiple times there, you may decide that adding that little extra length would be really helpful here. So if you have something, again, to give yourself a little extra support, especially if you're tight through the hamstrings. So super important to make sure that you're slowly stretching through the hamstrings, and they can become very tight. I don't know about you guys, but I've been sitting a lot this week. So hamstrings are probably pretty tight, as well as hip flexors, maybe in the front of the shoulders. We have all that going on today that will stretch. So as you fold forward here, bringing the weight a little more forward into the balls of the feet. Again, if you need a little extra time to stretch out through those hamstrings, bend your knees a little extra. You could widen your stance a little bit more, but just let the upper body drape over and fold forward. So relaxing through that upper body, maybe shaking your head yes and no a few times. And if you don't need that extra support, maybe you cradle your elbows and gently sway from side to side. This adds a little weight to the stretch. That might feel good. And then letting your arms hang loose if they're not there already. Shaking your head yes and no a couple of times. Just releasing all that tension, which hopefully you don't have a lot of this morning. All right, so here, you could either let your arms hang loose as we roll up, or if you need support for your back, place your hands to your thighs. You can bend your knees a little extra here. And again, we're going to roll up one vertebra at a time, slowly coming all the way up to stand. Good. And then once you are all the way up, let's move to the front end of the mat. So moving to give yourself a little space at the back end of your mat. Bring your feet so that they are about hip bone width apart, and let's soften the knees. And actually, before we get started on this next part, grab your towel if you have a towel, or just clasp your hands behind you. So you could do this clasp like this. And let's really open up through the front body for a second. So bending the knees, rolling the shoulders up, around, down, and back, and you either have that towel behind you or you have your hands clasped. Let's press the knuckles toward the floor. So opening up through the front body here. Press the knuckles toward the floor, opening up through your front, your heart space. And then again, bending your knees a little extra if you need to. We're going to fold forward here. And as you fold forward, you can even bend as much as you'd like and rest the chest on the thighs. Our intention here is to stretch through the front of the shoulders. So if you've been sitting a lot like this week, it'll feel really good to stretch through those shoulders. All right, so again, either hands clasped or using your towel or your dog leash or whatever you may have. And then let's slowly come back up. Feels good. All right. Releasing, if you do have that strap, releasing that. And if you didn't make your way to the front, now is the time. All right, let's inhale the arms up, big long stretch. And as you exhale, open up. So cactus arms, goalpost arms. Inhale to lengthen back up. Exhale, dive yourself forward. Swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift up. Again, this is where those jars of peanut butter or whatever you're using may be helpful. And then exhale to fold forward. One more time, inhale, halfway lift up. And exhale to fold, step back to plank or a modified version of plank. All right, because we are not together and I cannot see how you are working through plank and up dog and down dog, I want you to be really mindful here of how this flow should look. So right here in your plank, just visualizing that straight, strong, it's like you are a wood plank, strong and straight and holding on. So hold on, one more breath. Keeping that core strong here, and you can choose to just go from here to down dog. Otherwise, shifting your weight forward, keep your elbows really locked in. Don't lose your form as you lower yourself down. And then inhale, finding your back bend. Now we practiced Cobra. That might be where you choose to go. You may also find an up dog with the hands to the floor and the tops of the feet to the floor. Or maybe it's Sphinx pose. We practiced that as well. So finding which back bend feels good. And then either choosing here to lower back down and press up to plank and then finding down dog, or from your back bend, go right to down dog. All right, you guys, inhale the right leg up the back wall, the wall behind you. Exhale to bring the knee in and step the foot through. Now again, this is where you may need to give yourself that little assist. Make sure your knee and your ankle are lined up. Drop your back knee to the floor. Create the space, as much space as you can between your right heel and your left knee. And you can choose to stay low here. You could bring your hands to your thigh. You could bring your arms all the way up. Here's the deal. We are trying to stretch out through the front of that left hip. So allow your hips to sink forward. Good. And then maybe you add in a little bit of a back bend here. Again, those cactus arms, goalpost arms, maybe clasping your hands behind your back, opening up. Perfect. Now, hands down around your right foot. Let's begin to shift our weight back. We'll find our half splits. So as you shift back, adding, again, a little prop if you need to, especially if your hamstrings are tight this morning. Bending your knee a little extra if that's needed. Don't worry about how close you are to your leg. Instead, just feel that lengthening through the upper body and through the legs. So sending your right hip back. All right, you guys, let's do our shift forward. We're coming back forward again. Curling those back toes under. We're actually going to shift forward even a little bit more and lift the left leg up into the air. So you're in this modified version of Warrior 3, which is going to be something that you can choose to do as we move through practice today. So this modified version of Warrior 3 is always an option for you. All right, now we're going back, we're returning to a lunge. So bring those left toes back to your mat, send the right foot back to join your left for down dog. Inhale your left leg up the back wall. As you exhale, bring your knee in and step the foot through, giving yourself that assist if needed. Your left knee and your left ankle are lined up. Drop your back knee. You could keep those back toes curled under, by the way, or you could release the back foot. Again, creating that space between your left heel and your right knee and choosing to stay low, hands to your thigh, arms all the way up, opening up here, whatever feels good, allowing your right hip, your hips to sink forward so that you can feel that nice hip flexor stretch. Now hands down around your left foot. Let's begin to shift our weight back, either using your props or not. But as you shift back, be really aware of where you feel that hamstring stretch. The mid part of the hamstring muscle is where you want to feel it. And then again, don't worry about how close you are to your leg. That left hip may want to come forward. In fact, you may want to send it back, placing your left thumb into your left hip crease and just drawing it back. All right, shifting the weight forward, curl your right toes under, keep walking forward, and let's find this variation of Warrior 3. As you hold here, that right leg strong, press the sole of the foot toward the wall behind you. Again, this will be your option as we move through a couple of things today. All right, now very gently returning to a lunge and step your left foot back to join your right. Find your down dog. All right, so we are moving into this dancing warrior. We're going to go slowly through the first flow, and then we'll move a little more quickly with the breath. So from down dog, inhale the right leg up the back wall. As you exhale, bring the knee in and step the foot through. Give yourself that assist. Knee and ankle are lined up. Turn your back foot on its side. It's about a 45-degree angle back there. Your heels are lined up, right heel to left heel. We're turning the upper body to face the wall in front as much as possible. So turning your upper body, that might mean adding a little more space between the right heel. So maybe the heels don't line up directly. Turning your upper body to face the front of the room and extending the arms up, shoulders down, Warrior 1. All right, so we talked about that hip flexor and sitting all the time lately. So this is where, again, we're getting a little bit of hip flexor opening. We're also strengthening through this front leg. So if you can lunge a little deeper, go for it, but make sure, again, that the knee and the ankle stay lined up. Take a full breath in here. On your exhale, let's switch to a Warrior 2. The arms go long, and this right knee, again, making sure this is really important, this particular piece. So if you find that the right knee is dropping in, really try and open up here. So you should be able to see your right big toe to the inside part of your right knee. The left foot is parallel with the back end of your mat now. Arms are extended long, chest is lifted, proud warrior. So a lot of these poses that we're working through now, the warrior series, we have 3 of them that we're doing in this. They are strong, strong poses. And you know what? We need that strength right now, right? So the right leg strengthening, the back leg is stretching. Turn your front palm up, take a full breath in. As you exhale, find a reverse warrior. Left fingertips back to the left leg. There's no pressure on that left leg. In fact, you may even want to bring your left arm behind your back. Right arm extends up and back. Perfect. And now inhale to come back to center, and exhale, let's find a side angle pose. Now, as you are looking at me, I just want to let you know that it's reverse of what I'm actually doing. So I'm hoping that our rights and lefts are working out okay. And if they're not, don't worry about it. No big deal. Hands down around your right foot back to join your left. Find your down dog. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale to bring the knee in and step the foot through. Turn your back foot on its side. Inhale to rise up. Warrior 1. All right, so all those things we talked about the last time around, just check in here. Take some time. This is, again, the opportunity before we start moving a little bit more quickly with the breath to ensure that you're feeling where you need to feel, doing what you need to do to make sure that it feels all right before we move a little more quickly. And know that you can always change, by the way, when we start moving a little more quickly. You could still go as slow as you want because I don't know what's going on with you there. You've got complete freedom. All right, take that full breath in. As you exhale, let's find a warrior 2. So arms are stretched out nice and long. They parallel the floor. They're reaching out for opposite sides of the room. So not only are the legs strong, the upper body is strong as well. Chest is lifted. Check in. Can you see that left big toe to the inside part of your left knee? Widening the left knee out toward the pinky toe side of the foot. Again, chest lifted. Take a full breath in here. Rotate that front palm to face up. Let's find a reverse warrior. The right fingertips back to the right leg or the right arm behind your back. Don't lose the lunge in that left knee. Take a full breath in. On your exhale, the left forearm to the left thigh, right arm by your ear. This is a modified version of side angle pose. Wow. And once again here, you can add a little less pressure on that forearm so that you're really engaging the core a little bit more here. Now, turning to look down to your left foot, place one hand down around either side, pivot onto those back toes, send the left foot back to join the right, find your down dog. All right, you guys, together. No, let's not do this together. We're going to do an optional flow at this point, and then we're going to actually be moving together a little more frequently. So that optional flow is that plank, up dog, down dog that we practiced together earlier. You may decide, I don't want to do that, and that's absolutely fine. We're meeting in down dog. And let's take just a couple of breaths here. In fact, you may decide to do a couple of cleansing breaths. And so with those, we'll inhale coming up onto the toes. Take that full breath in through the nose. As you exhale, open mouth side out as you drop the heels. One more time, inhale to come up. Exhale. All right, we are moving with the breath these next few rounds. And if, again, you want to make any modifications, maybe not stepping forward, maybe stepping back instead, it is completely up to you. Modify as you need to. Inhale the right leg up the back wall. As you exhale, bring the knee in and step the foot through. Inhale to rise up, warrior 1. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Good. All right, let's step, place the hands down around the right foot. Sorry. Step that right foot back to join the left. Step and inhale the left leg up. Exhale to bring the knee in and step the foot through. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Hands down around your left foot back to join your right. Find your down dog. All right, you guys, together. Coming up onto your toes from your down dog, pull your belly button into your spine. Let's begin to roll out to our plank. So rolling out, one vertebra at a time. Once you come all the way out, your head comes up, and then keeping those core muscles nice and strong, we are going to roll back to down dog. So really think of that articulation through the spine. One more time, coming up onto the toes, rolling out to plank. Strong core, strong abs, strong back. Once you are out in your plank, same strong core as you roll back to down dog. All right, from down dog, let's move into our third round of dancing warrior. We have 5 rounds, by the way, so a couple more rounds. Inhale the right leg up the back wall. Exhale to bring the knee in and step the foot through. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. All right, you guys, so we are moving into a balance pose. And this balance pose, you could do that variation of warrior 3 that we practiced at the very beginning of class or closer to the beginning, or you could go right for a half moon pose. So you decide here. So again, you could turn forward. So again, if you've practiced this with me multiple times, you know you could go right for it. Otherwise, walking those fingertips forward, and we land in that variation of warrior 3 that we practiced earlier. And maybe you stay right here. Maybe you can begin to extend your left arm up into the air. So left arm, left leg, half moon. Left leg, strong. Left arm, strong. Finding that spot that you can focus on, quiet your mind. Sometimes our mind takes off. And now we'll gently return to a lunge. Just take your time. And then send your right foot back to join your left, down dog. Same flow, other side. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale to bring the knee in and step the foot through. Inhale to rise up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. All right, you have options. You could walk those fingertips forward, or you could go right for it. Left fingertips land out about 6 inches or so from that left foot. The right leg comes up into the air. The right arm is up in the air. Engage this right leg. Really send energy through it. Stay strong here. Find that spot that you can focus on. Hold on, 2 more breaths. All right, now let's gently return to a lunge. Just take your time. And send your left foot back to join your right, down dog. All right, now you have that optional flow, plank, up dog, down dog. It is optional. And if you are choosing to do that optional flow, just be real mindful of that strong plank and the strong lowering down to the mat. All right, 2 more rounds and we're done. All right, let's inhale the right leg up the back wall. Exhale to bring the knee in and step the foot through. Inhale, rise up, just let it flow. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. All right, are you ready for this? Let's do a little strengthening now through the upper body. a little bit more, we are going to work through a side plank. And so we'll bring the hands down around that front foot, pivot onto your back toes. You have a few options here. You could, well, let me just send this right foot back. So you could send your right foot back. Make sure your left hand is underneath the left shoulder. Maybe you're right here. Maybe you drop that left knee underneath the left hip for a little extra support. Maybe you reach that right arm toward the front of the room. Oh, feel that nice stretch? Maybe you can find a little extra here by extending that right leg up into the air. So, lots of options. Make sure you choose the one that works best here for you. Oh, 2 more breaths. Hold on. Stay strong. You are stronger than you know, right? Mind over matter. Breathe. And shake. Is anyone else shaking? All right. Find your plank pose. From your plank, you are welcome to flow, or you could go right to down dog. So you choose. Good. All right, you guys, right here. Inhale the left leg up the back wall. Exhale to bring the knee in and step the foot through. Inhale to rise up. Warrior 1. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Side plank. Right hand will be down. The left foot, maybe you send it right back and extend up. Maybe you drop that back knee or that bottom knee to the floor, right underneath the hip. So again, one of the things in yoga is to keep the joints lined up. So the right hand underneath the right shoulder. If you decide to add that extra support with the hip, left knee or right knee underneath that right hip. And maybe reach. Hold on here, 2 more breaths. Breathe, breathe, breathe. All right, plank, flow, or go right to down dog. You choose. All right, dropping your knees, pressing back to an extended child's pose. Let's hold on here for 1 breath, 1 or 2 breaths. Let's hold on. So this last dancing warrior flow, I'm actually going to change it up just a little bit, just so that we can get a little bit more stretching in this last one. So as little less strengthening. All right. So when you are ready, let's feet back in down dog. This is the last standing vinyasa that we will do. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale to bring the knee in and step the foot through. We'll start off the same. Inhale to rise up, warrior 1. Exhale, warrior 2. Now here's the change. Straighten out through your front leg. Turn that front palm up just like you would have before. And let's find this is called a revolved triangle, reverse triangle. La, la, la. Now coming back to center, we're going to reach toward the right side and then we'll fold into triangle this time. Now, again, if you prefer, you could go back to where we were, but I did want to get a little bit of extra stretch through that right leg. All right, looking down to your right foot, place one hand down on either side. Right foot back to join your left, find your down dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale to bring the knee in and step the foot through. Inhale to rise up, warrior 1. Exhale to warrior 2, but then straighten out through your front leg. Turn the left palm to face up and let's find this variation here of triangle. And then coming back to center, reaching toward the wall in front of you, let's fold into triangle. So the left hand will come to the left shin. Try and release some pressure so you're not adding a lot of just dumping into that left shoulder. Instead, using your core strength here, keeping that right shoulder back, stay open. Good. And then looking down to your left foot, place one hand down around either side, left foot back to join your right. Find your down dog. Optional flow. Plank, up dog, down dog. We're meeting in down dog. Now come with me, please. Let's shift our weight. Let's find plank. Let's hold on right here. Strong core. We're going to drop the right knee to the floor and send it back up. Drop the left knee to the floor, send it up. Right knee, send it up. Left knee, and up. Do 4 more just like this. Here's 3. Last 2. And last 1. Shift forward. Lower all the way down to your mat. Very good, you guys. All right, let's reach forward with the left arm. Reach back with the right hand. Grab onto that right foot. Point the right knee back toward the wall behind you. Right here, you can choose to stay, or you could bring your left forearm to the floor, elbow underneath the shoulder. Press through your forearm and open up a little bit more through you may feel a little bit more through that right quad. You may feel a little bit more, it's a little more of a back bend. You've got the choice though to stay low if you choose. Perfect, and then let's slowly release that and we'll switch to the other side. So send that right arm straight out in front, reach back, grab the top part of your left foot with your left hand. Point your knee straight back to the wall behind you. Press your hips into the floor. This is maybe where you choose to stay. But you also have the option to bring the right forearm to the floor, elbow underneath the shoulder, and stretch out a little bit more. You may find that the back bend part feels a little bit better, or even the stretch through the quad feels a little bit better here. Breathe your full breaths. Beautiful. Let's release. All right, now coming up to either a tabletop position, that all fours position, or finding down dog. We are going to move into pigeon pose today. Last week we didn't. That was your homework, so hopefully you did that. But together, I think it's really important to catch pigeon together or work on it, practice it. So you can either, again, move there from all fours or from down dog. We are going to bring the right knee in behind the right wrist. So right knee in behind the right wrist. And send your knee out wider than your shoulder. So right here, right for me right now, when I brought that leg in, I can actually send the heel up a little further away from my body, my midline a little bit more. So do some adjusting here so that your hips are square to the floor. One thing that is pretty common is to send the hips off or to drop the hips off to one side. Try and square those hips off to the mat. And then from here, you can choose to stay upright. You could bring yourself forward, but if you bring yourself forward, make sure that you keep your spine nice and lined up. So one of the tendencies is to just drop the head and let the head hang low. And we get that a lot already. So again, if you're doing this a lot during the day, you're getting plenty of stretch through the neck. And so let's keep the spine nice and long. If you do need support for your head, you could place your fist down and support your forehead with them, or you could stay up on your forearms. But just holding on right here for a few breaths. In fact, we're going to hold for probably another 15, 20 seconds at least. So right here, breathe your full breath. So important. I think I've said that maybe 5 times now, but it is so important to continue to breathe deeply. This is a pretty intense stretch. We hold so much in the hips, believe it or not, lots of emotion. And just from sitting, our hips will get tight. All right, now as you guys hold there, if things are going well, just stay there. Let me give you this other option too. If you find that it's just not working well for you to be in pigeon that way, you could do reclined pigeon. So that means bringing the right ankle above the left knee on your back, and then maybe bringing the hands behind the thigh here. So know that you have that option. All right, hold on. You have one more breath. Perfect. All right, you are welcome to move to, again, either all fours or down dog to release. So whatever feels best here. You can walk the dog, roll through the hip. All right, same thing, other side. Left knee in behind your left wrist. Right leg straight behind you. So just checking in here, making sure again that that right leg is straight behind you. And sometimes what is really helpful is to curl those back toes under, and you can keep them curled under the whole time. But lift the kneecap up off the mat, draw the body back slightly, the leg back slightly, the body, and then release the knee back down to the mat. So just check in with that. That might be a good option. And then folding yourself forward, just stay nice and long through the spine. And know that you have that option to go on your back and do a reclined pigeon pose if that feels better for you. And we're holding here, checking in with your breath, and checking in if is there unnecessary tightness or tension in the shoulders. So these next couple of exhales, see if you can release a little bit more with each one. Two more full breaths here. Again, exhaling to release, relax. Perfect. And then walking yourself back up. We're going to make a change this time. Let's sit down onto that left hip and swing the legs around so that they are out in front of you. And just shake them out. Shake them out. Shake, shake, shake. All right. And then we're going to lay all the way back on our back. So if you'll join me on your back. All right, so we are going to twist, and there are a couple of options that you have here. You could place your right ankle above your left knee for a figure four, or you could cross your right leg all the way over your left. Or maybe you decide no cross at all would be best. Shift your hips a little toward the right edge of your mat. Extend your arms out to the side. Maybe goalpost arms, maybe arms are extended into a T. And then we are dropping the knees gently to that left side. Once again, if you do have that cross or that figure four and it's too much, then uncross and just stack the right leg on top of the left. And maybe you turn here to look to your right. Good, and then slowly bring your legs back to center, uncross, and regain or come back to center for a second with the hips. And then decide here, left ankle above the knee, left leg all the way crossed over or no cross at all. And then shift your hips a little toward the left edge of your mat. Gently drop your crossed legs, if you have them crossed, to the right. And maybe here you turn to look to your left. Try to keep both shoulder blades connected with your mat, so stay open through the chest. These twists feel good. That's another thing, if you're sitting a lot, as many of us may be, although I have seen a ton of people outside these last couple of days, walking and running and cycling. I love it. Beautiful. Come back to center. And release that cross if you did have the cross. Shift your hips back so that they are centered. And we'll just for a few seconds here find an inversion. Inversions are just so nice for a reset, a restore. In fact, if you do feel like you need a nice, just gentle way before you get into bed, one of the options, a good option, is to bring your legs up the wall or send them up the wall. And then you have that support, so they're not just hanging out midair, but it really does, it's supposed to help with sleep. So if you do need a little bit of help with that, that might be an option. So this particular pose, waterfall pose, if you have another inversion that you prefer to practice, you are welcome to find that here. But this is just a real gentle inversion. Another one might be happy baby. With the soles of the feet, you could grab to the inside or the outside arch of the foot. Try to keep the tailbone connected with your mat. So you do have that option here. Bridge pose is another inversion. And then let's gently release that. Now, you may decide after that you'd like to hug the knees in. Maybe this is a time for for happy baby pose. Maybe a twist. Maybe if we didn't get enough twist for you on one side, you are needing a little bit more, then feel free to find that here. And then we are moving into our poses for final relaxation. So when you are ready, you'll find that pose. It might be the same thing that you did to start. It might be that you decide to come up to a seated position, but don't feel like you need to do that. I am actually going to do that just so that I can lead you through, make sure that you guys can hear me. This is the best part. It's the most difficult and most challenging part for a lot of people of a yoga class, because it is the time when we are just still, and a lot of people need to continue to move. But this is actually one of the most important parts of a yoga class. So taking this time, and we are going to, know we were running over a little bit, but I was yapping at the beginning. So this is our time to just chill. And I want you to focus here. So once you find your comfortable posture, focus in on your breath. The breath is just, there are so many ways that we can use it to our benefit. And so as you inhale here, feel that nourishing breath and how it energizes you. It can energize you. A full breath in. You feel that energy flowing in. And then with your exhale, notice how it can calm you. If you really put your mind to it, you can relax and release every single muscle with your exhales. So using your breath here, do you need that energy for today? Or do you really need to focus in on the exhales and relax? Breathing in, breathing out. Let your mind stay focused on your breath. But as you find, or if you find, your mind wandering, as many of us do during this time, no judgment. Instead, maybe even replacing the focus of the breath with a mantra. On the inhale, think of the word let, and on the exhale, think of the word go. Let go. And now bring some gentle movements to your fingers and your toes. And maybe stretch out nice and long here again. And now let's meet in a seated posture. So however you want to get there is up to you, but we'll meet there. And let's take one more big deep breath in together. Bring your arms all the way up, stretch up nice and long. Exhale your hands to your heart. I am so grateful for you practicing with me today. Please stay strong, stay healthy, stay safe, stay connected. Namaste.